Please rise for our national anthem.
Good evening. Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death.
Tommie Smith and John Carlos raced at the 1968 Summer Olympics held in Mexico while representing the United States. They did exceptionally well and won gold and bronze during the 200-meter race. During their medal ceremony, the two athletes decided to peacefully protest while the Star-Spangled Banner played. Their protest came as a result of a number of events, such as the cruel treatment of Black people in the United States during the Civil Rights era, the fight for racial equality for Black athletes, and they wanted more Black coaches to be hired. Their protest was emphasized by the symbolism they displayed. Their Black gloves were raised in a fist to reenact the Black Power salute. All three athletes on the podium wore a badge which read Olympic Project for Human Rights. Carlos and Smith received their medals barefoot to symbolize the poverty they and their communities faced back home. John Carlos wore his jacket unzipped, which broke the Olympic dress code, in order to show solidarity with blue-collar workers, and he also wore a beaded necklace to represent those lives lost to racially motivated lynching. Their protest was met with intense criticism and punishment. They were booed off the field, kicked off the team, and their medals were revoked.
Mario! Activists in the Bayview are honoring the life of Mario Woods on his birthday tonight. Back in December of 2015, police say Woods had just stabbed a woman and was holding the bloody knife when officers surrounded him and shot him to death. The cell phone video of the police shooting sparked huge protests.
The murder of Mario Woods and other incidents of police brutality prompted 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick to take action.
Colin Kaepernick's protest against racial injustice seems to be gaining traction.
The San Francisco 49ers quarterback knelt during the national anthem at the Niners LA Rams game on Monday night. Teammate Eric Reid joined him, and players on both teams raised fists in solidarity.
Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem in response to recent acts of police brutality and racial inequality. His actions had rippling impacts as other players began to do the same. However, Kaepernick became the scapegoat as his career was stripped from him. He became a free agent but has received no offers from any other team. Both stories share resemblances in the sense that they are athletes using their platforms to peacefully protest for a cause that they believe in. However, the differences in both stories paint a better picture than their similarities. Carlos and Smith focus more on the symbolism behind their protests, which worked best for presenting their message. They wanted to advocate for a wider range of issues, from Black rights to overall human rights, both of which are heavy topics to discuss. Their message was easier to represent through their use of visual symbolism. On the other hand, Kaepernick focused his protest on racial equality and police brutality. Carlos, Smith, and Kaepernick all faced immense backlash. However, their punishments were very different. Carlos and Smith were kicked out of the Olympic Village while having their medals revoked. Kaepernick also faced backlash, but he was supported by millions who shared his beliefs. Both events essentially caused these athletes' careers to be over, which is ironic considering how the US makes political statements at the expense of its athletes, but punishes athletes trying to do the same. America refuses to hear Black and minorities' cries for help, yet wonders why athletes take advantage of their platform to spread their message. In analyzing both events side by side, we can see that minorities are facing the same struggles even 47 years apart. These stories really show how minorities will continue to find ways to be heard until real change is accomplished.